delay, so I'm gonna start off. Guys, welcome everybody to Igor in Russia. This is yours truly, Igor, and today we have a special guest straight from Belarus, and that is Irish Partisan, and we're gonna be talking about his life, his YouTube career, his life in Belarus, and also travel updates concerning traveling to Belarus. Welcome, Irish Partisan.
Привет, всем привет, добрый вечер. Как дела?
That's basically everything you do when you start off your videos. Добрый вечер, everybody. You have a
Добрый
certain
вечер,
way.
друзья.
You have a certain way to how you started off. I don't know. Do your
Mhm.
subscribers know what you're
Yeah.
saying? I don't know. Have you ever explained people what you're saying for non-Russian speaking?
Yeah, I have. This is an important thing because when you have an international channel like ourselves, obviously there's going to be the language barrier. And I remember when I started off the channel first, back in like August, September 2019, I was conversing to people in Russian, and people would come back. What are you saying? What are you saying? I didn't put in the subtitles. So there was the problem with communication. It's only then when the channel started growing, I had to put the subtitles in. So it's a natural progression of the channel itself. So it is as it is as such. But it's good to be on the show. It's good to be with you, Igor. I first became acquainted with your channel through a good friend of mine, Mr. Tall from Tall Travels, whom you have met a number of times
Yes.
in St. Petersburg, or Leningrad, as I like to call it still. So that's what. So he put me through to you, and that's when I started watching your content. Some really, really good content from a Finnish guy who absolutely loves Russia. This is great. This is great to hear, especially when you have all the absolutely crazy and um, it's just mind-boggling Russophobia that's going on in the West, particularly in countries like Finland and Germany and
True.
Britain and
Yeah.
so on.
I haven't brought that up in a long time, but yeah, it is, and it's funny how we're not gonna go into these topics too much, but since it's like very everyday life, as a Russian speaking person in Finland, for example, anybody who's here a Russian speaking person will be in shock when statistics say there is no Russophobia in Finland, for example, Finland. So it's so funny. Like I'm not able. I just have to laugh because you can try if you're legit Russian speaking. Just try to do speaking in public and not shouting, just normally speaking. You, as a minimum, you're gonna get people gonna turn around like you know turn around and see check you out. Who is this guy who speaks Russian? But anyway, let's get into more positive topics. Guys, this is a live stream, but this is also going to be released later on. You can ask questions in advance in the chat. We have Edelwolf moderating. Hello, Edelwolf. Svetlana already left a comment. Guys, leave comments. We're gonna go through them a bit later. We're gonna start off with Irish Partisan explaining who he is for those who don't know. And by the way, speaking of Toll Travels, we're gonna say hello to Toll. He's a great guy, traveling all around the world, absolutely loves Russia. But I actually asked for your information, so I was checking you out before you started me because that was intentional. I said because I've been watching your stuff and I was like Belarus is a big interest for me. I have never been there, so it's really awesome to be as a like a normal fan looking at your videos, not actually creating anything, but just as an ordinary guy. So I enjoyed that seat all the way till now and onwards. But yes, hey, please introduce those who don't know who you are and what do you do, and yeah, just a simple introduction in the words you wanna put.
Okay, so anyway, I am who I am. I'm the Irish Partisan. My first name is Neil or Niall, and I am from Ireland. But now currently working and living in Belarus, Minsk, Belarus. Perhaps the only Irish person living and working in all of in Belarus, and I've been here now for nearly a decade, as such. and kind of like settling into life here. And it's been a long 10 years here, but really, really enjoy it. And this channel here, the Irish Partisan, I set up my Google account back in 2015. And then I only started getting the channel going about the summer of 2019. And there's a story behind the channel. As you know, I'm a good friend of a number of famous YouTubers like Harold Balder and Mr. Bald, especially Mr. Bald. And I recall one weekend I was down in Gommel with Mr. Bald. He started his channel. He's been a good year into his channel, and we were staying in the Hotel Circus, the best hotel in Gommel. And we it was the time of the Den Pobedi, the 9th of May, the big parade and that. And we were also joined by another guy who does Connor Klein. He does Tsar Experience, that kind of stuff. I was mates with him, then back in 2019, but Mr. Bald, we were sat down in the restaurant that night, and Mr. Bald said to me, why don't you set up a YouTube channel like what I'm doing? I'm starting to become successful, blah, blah, blah. You've been living in Belarus, so document your life about Belarus.
Who said that? Sorry, Harold or Bald?
No, Mr. Bald. Mr. Bald.
Bankrupt.
Mr. Bald. Yeah, Bald and bankrupt. But Harold had been saying it to me about 2 or 3 years earlier. And anytime I met Harold, he was mentioning it to me the whole time. Why don't you get a YouTube channel going? You got a market there. You have it's Belarus. Nobody visits Belarus. And Harold came to Belarus twice. In 2015, he came with Mr. Bald, and then he came the following year, 2016, with a couple of friends of his. One guy from Poland, the other guy from Kazakhstan. And Harold made a video about Minsk, and I was actually featured in the video. This is my first time on YouTube. And that video, I think, got about 3 or 4 million views, something like that. And Harold said it to me, just do it, like set up a YouTube channel. The next year then, 2017, 2018, I went to Kiev. He was living in Kiev at the time. And he started saying the same thing again to me. Oh, get a YouTube channel going. I was in Vietnam, got 20 million views, blah, blah, blah. And I just thought nothing of it, went back to Minsk.
Did you say he got 20 million views?
Yeah, one of his videos from Vietnam.
Okay.
From Vietnam. Yeah, he goes around Southeast Asia and that. And then 2019, Bald came back to Belarus and with Connor Klein. And the two of them started getting onto me. Get a video, make a film, do something. And I was going, yeah, whatever. And then I was the morning of the 9th of May. Balls went down to the shop, and I met Connor Klein, and he said to me, you're not leaving Gommel until you make a film about Gommel. So I said, yeah, why not? Okay, I'll do it. I caved into pressure. And the first video that I ever made was the Victory Day Parade in Gommel. And I uploaded it, and it only got about 5 or 6 views. And I said, okay, that's got everybody off my back. Thank God for that. I thought nothing more of it. But a Balls then came back. Mr. Ball came back to me then. It was like in June, July, and this is 2019. And he said, yeah, what have you done with your channel? And I said, I posted a couple of videos from Gommel. He said, but you got to do better than that. You got to make a video. How about you make an introduction video? Tell us a bit about yourself. So the following month, this was the end of July, I made the video, the first video on my channel that's still there, how I came to Belarus. And I made that video. This was a couple of days before I went to Kaliningrad. All right. So I uploaded that video. I said, I'll just see how it goes, whatever. Okay. So made the video and then went off then to Kaliningrad for 8 days. So I went to Kaliningrad, and that was a great holiday. I went with a friend of mine from Lithuania, and we visited all the different places around the Kaliningrad Oblast. Places like we went to Zelenogorsk, Tilsit, Gumbanin, Where else? Kaliningrad itself, you know, and a few places around the oblast. And I wasn't planning on filming in Kaliningrad at the time, you know, but I just said, you know, I just enjoyed the holiday, enjoyed the vacation there. And 8 days, fantastic 8 days in Kaliningrad. And I came
That's a
back
good
to,
time
yeah,
length.
2019. Yeah, 8 days. I went on the visa, you know, a bit of a funny incident at the airport. I'll tell you a bit about that in a couple of minutes. But I came back to Belarus and I said, I checked my channel, the video that I made, how I ended up, how I came to Belarus. And I looked at it and it got over like 5,000 views. And I said, hey, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5,000 views and a lot of comments and likes and so on. I said, I might be onto something here. Okay. And I took it from there. I took the channel from there, you know, and then I started making more content about, you know, going to bars, going to the Komarovsky Rynok here in the center of Minsk. And, you know, the channel then slowly started building up, you know, over time. And I included a lot of different types of videos, different themes, etc., and so on. And the channel then started growing. And I said to myself, wow, I'm actually I'm onto something here. Something could be good here. So over time, started building up the channel. And then the following year, 2020, Mr. Bowles came back to Minsk. He wants to Belarus. He wants to make another few videos. He was down in Gomel Oblast, seeing Kolya, the old guy that he befriended in the forest, and
The one with the conspiracy theories.
the one with all the conspiracy theories, who loves Marshal Tito in Yugoslavia, and he's a top guy for saying that, by the way. Okay, but yeah, so Ball came, and we did 3 videos together, number of videos, and my channel just took off. I got monetized and I took it from there. So I decided, okay, I have the channel. Let's take it all around Belarus, documenting the life of an Irish expat living and working in Belarus. I took it to all different kind of places. I've been around pretty much all this country. I met all kinds of people, wonderful people here in this country. And, you know, I've been to more parts of Belarus than most Belarusians, to be honest.
I believe
they've
you.
said that to me. Yeah, they've said that to me. But yeah, you know, people, local Belarusians, you know, they write to me and say, "Oh, you want to go to my town? You know, check out Kobrin or check out Brest or check out Lepel, or do you go to these places with like 5,000 people in it?" Like, you know, and that the only source of employment is the kolkhoz or something like that, you know. But these are the places where you make the best content, because you meet all the people there, and you go to the local Stolovia and you sample the food. You know, for example, I met up with another guy from Gomel, Dennis Kushnerov, I think his name is, and he's a channel, and he's from Gomel but living in the States, and he came back to Belarus in 2022, summer 2022. So he said to me, why don't you come down to a place called Ritskoy, which is in the Gomel Oblast? And I said, what the hell is in Ritskoy? It's outside of northwest of Gomel. And he said, there's this great Stolovia there. It's right on the grounds of a kolkhoz. So I said, okay, let's go there. And we went. I did a food o'clock there, and I'll tell you this thing: it was the best food o'clock I ever did and I ever had. Met the people, talked to the ladies in on the farm, the ladies in the office, the administrative office. They were lovely people, made us feel very welcome. They gave us free lemonade, and we had a great, beautiful dinner for the grand sum of 8 rubles, which is about €2.50, and we were stuffed.
Yep.
And they gave us free tea, free lemonade. They even showed us around the administrative part of the office in the kolkhoz in the Ritskoy, and it was great. We really enjoyed it. So we decided to go down to the local Russian Orthodox church. We filmed there. I met one of the nuns, and she showed me, she told me the history about the church and all that. And then we went to the monument where the local villagers were massacred by the Nazis in World War II. So even
Yeah.
in small places. I say this, people say, "Oh, why'd you go to this place, this village, and all that?"
There's also always a
There's
lot of history in those
there's
places,
always a
tons of
lot of
it.
history, tons of it. Like
It's more niche maybe in a way,
yeah,
but that's actually the interesting part.
yeah,
By the way, there's a lot to be covered on, a lot of ground to be covered, what you said, but for me to comment. But I actually, what is, first of all, it's a bit interesting how you guys, many of you YouTubers, Toll, Travels You, Bold and Bankrupt, Harold Boulder, are all connected, and that is
mm,
weird. But you know what? Out of the four mentioned, I've actually, by life's chance, or how you say it, by chance, met everybody except Bold. Not, I was a big fan during the first season. Then it got off track, maybe. But he was an influential guy for me to actually grab the camera as well. But I met you now. I've met Toll Travels, and I met also Harold Boulder in Helsinki, which is weird. He was in a cafe, and I recognized because I watched his stuff. So I went to say hi. I did not know at that time either of you, so I didn't name drop anybody. But that was a funny thing. I also, of course, Simon Wilson is connected, but there's like a weird group. I don't know. You guys are not doing anything now together, but you are all connected, and that's like kind of surprising. And another thing, I also started my YouTube channel in like around 19. Well, my YouTube channel is older, but I started filming Russia in 19, and it also was connected to Victory Day. That was the Victory Day week that I decided to actually go for a longer period to my favorite St. Petersburg and see for the first time Victory Day and do all the stuff. So there's a lots of little similarities. And also, by the way, oh my God, there was a one thing that you mentioned, but I forgot. There was, like I said, a lot of ground to be covered. There's a lot of questions coming in right now, and we need to get going. But before I forget, let's do some questions. Otherwise, I'm sure I will forget. First of all,
yeah.
hello, comrade partisan, says Svetlana. Many comrades here in Russia are of opinion that life is better for the working class in Belarus than here in Russia. What makes their life better there? And thank you. And other questions she has also. Well, I'm gonna get to that in a bit.
Okay, all right. Well,
And
we
short to
have to.
answer because we
Yeah,
have limited time and lots of
yeah.
to cover.
Well, the short end of it is that, unlike in, say, Russia and in Ukraine and other ex-Soviet states, Belarus kept the social state of the USSR. It kept its universal healthcare system. It kept its state-owned enterprises, which guaranteed workers employment and benefits. It kept its education system and all the social security trappings of the USSR. And like because of this, Belarus is very self-sufficient when it comes not only to food but also to light industry as well. This country produces its own tractors. It produces its own, for example, household items, refrigerators, toasters, microwave ovens, washing machines, everything you can think of, even like
Tractors.
laptops, tractors, cars, lorries, you name it. So Belarus kept it's the Soviet infrastructure, and that's why Belarus is called the social state. So this is why Belarusian working class, they have a lot of benefits. They get a lot of benefits from the state. If a woman goes on maternity leave, it's 3 years. If a
Wow.
couple have 3 children, they get subsidized housing. I think something like 70 or 80% discount on the price of a house. So a lot of things are provided here. I hazard to say, like, even the healthcare system here is excellent. I've been through state hospitals, state polyclinics, and I would say it's actually on a par with many countries in Central Europe and also with the Baltics as well, which are in the EU. So, all these little things actually count. And I know that if I fall ill, I can just go to a doctor and get treated. Whereas if it's back home in Ireland, you could be waiting for like 20 or 24 hours in accident emergency before you're seen by a doctor. Here, you're seen within about 10, 15, 20 minutes
That's
maximum.
amazing.
So that's the difference between Belarus and Russia. Belarus kept the social state, the social security, the housing, education, healthcare, pension,
Hmm.
social welfare, everything like that. So, and you also have, for example, sanatoria as well, state-run. So the
Yep.
state is more involved in the economy here. And if you have a state-run economy, more or less, it's run for the benefit of the people, more or less. That's what.
Great answer. But in short, you might assume that working class is better than in Russia, even though a lot of those things, when you said there, I know that in Russia are on a similar level or on the same, I don't know, better or worse, but around there, meaning like healthcare
Yeah.
system and stuff.
I'm
But
not saying
possibly.
I'm not saying it's perfect here. Obviously, this place has its faults like everywhere else. But
Hmm.
from what I've seen here and what I've seen in Russia, there is a notable difference. The places are, the environment's a lot cleaner, it's safer. You see, for example, police on the beat in the local neighborhoods. So you do feel like secure here.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Shelley said, by the way, oh my God, I was wondering where this Irishman was. I'm glad he's still living successfully in Belarus. He puts Belarus on the map for us to see. And Svetlana, Irish partisan's name is Neil. You missed it. Yes. And guys, keep the comments coming. Grassy Knoll, is Belarus connected to Russia? Well, they have a state union, so it's
Yeah,
in that way
it's the Union
connected.
state. Yeah,
Yes. And
it's
me
known as the
physically
Union state.
connected. Yes, there's a physical connection, and we're gonna get into that concerning traveling in the late of this interview. All right. Hey, when did you mention in that long but very interesting answer about when, why, and how did you move to Belarus?
Yeah,
Did you say
okay.
that?
Actually, yeah, I
In a,
mentioned in the video that the first very video I made, the reason why I made the video, another reason was because I was pestered by people. How did you come here? Why did you end up here?
yep.
Because they say no, people usually they go from like from east to west, not west to east. I went in the opposite direction. And
Hmm.
people ask me, well, how the hell did you end up here? So that's why I made that video, how I ended up in
But
Belarus.
shortly in this over here, how did
Yeah.
you get there actually,
Okay, how did I get here? Well,
and why?
okay, short end of it is that
Sure. Yeah.
I went to university with a guy from Belarus, from Minsk, and he said, before he was leaving to go back home, why don't you come and visit Belarus? And I said, well, maybe someday, And my impression of Belarus is like, tractors, because like we have Belarus tractors in Ireland as well,
Yep.
because we're agricultural based economy, So I thought no more of it as such. And then the Ice Hockey World Championship came up here in 2014, and I went over there, and I had a great week. Went to a couple of ice hockey games, even though I'm from a country that doesn't do winter sports, nothing of the sort whatsoever. And I had a great time. Went back to Dublin. This is a 2014, yeah, May 2014. And shortly after, I was made redundant from my job. And I said, okay, I finally have a good vacation, my first real vacation in a decade. So why not, just chill out for a few months, just go wherever it takes me. So I came out to Minsk in late 2014, early 2015, met up with my friend, and and so I was drinking away when the bar, and his friend came to me and asked me, oh, what are you doing here? And I said, I'm just here on vacation. He asked me about my life in Dublin, etc. And said, what are you doing at the moment? I'm not working at the moment, just taking some time out, from holidays. And he said, hey, there's a company here looking for guys like you, an IT company. And I said, really? And I said, I'm not planning on working here. I'm planning to stop here on vacation. That's it. So he was kind of persuasive about it. I just went home, slept on, got up the following morning, and curiosity got the better of me. Looked it up. I said, wow, why not? Let's apply for it anyway, apply for the job. So I applied for the job. And, you know, next week I went for the interview, and they asked me at my place of work, they asked me, when are you going back home? And I said, next week. And I said, okay. I thought no more of it. I'll be going back home, whatever. And then about 2 days later, I was, they offered me the contract, and I rang up my mother and said, hey, guess what? I'm
Not coming
been offered
back.
I don't call me back. I'm staying here. That's it. Gone 10 years later. I'm still here.
So it wasn't like because you clearly, I suspect you're like a Soviet enthusiast now at least, but you weren't then, right? So it wasn't
Uh,
like, or is it, or did it play a part?
it did certainly play a part. You know, at the time I was more enthusiastic about the Balkans, really Yugoslavia, than the USSR.
Hmm.
You know, because I spent a lot of time in ex-Yugoslavia, in Serbia, Macedonia as well. Like, you know, so I was there, and yeah, yeah, you know, it's kind of like a Soviet enthusiast. You know, the USSR, that kind of thing, and you know, it's just played into it, and everything kicked off from there, more or less, and that's exactly what happened. So yeah, it's been a romance, 10-year romance with the USSR, one a life of which I've absolutely enjoyed, to say the least.
So have you been enjoying? I guess you are since you've been there still, or are you trapped? Because for a lot of Western audience, not this one watching here, but the ones who don't know truth about normal life in Russia, Belarus, they would think that you probably just dreaming about escaping you, or and but I doubt that's the case since you enjoying your life there.
Yeah, I mean, I can get up and go anytime I want. So I can get on a bus here in Minsk and get the bus to Vilnius, and then I'm back in the West. You know, back in the
Yep.
European Union. You know, the usual thing. Yeah, you know, I can move around this place, to film around different parts of Belarus. As I said, met different people. Now, I don't feel trapped or anything like that at all. You know, just I just get on, do my business, and yeah, I've continuously been here for well over 2 years, because it's like, when was the last time I left Belarus? September 2022. I went to Portugal for 2 weeks. Went to Lisbon and the Azores, and I made a couple of videos from there. So yeah, I enjoyed that. That was a nice vacation.
So you
So
didn't visit, in the words of, was it the Trump's administration, previous one, that's you didn't enjoy Belarus shores. Remember that moment? Yeah, just I'm joking. That was the time when they mentioned that they're gonna put pressure on Belarusian shores, shoreline, something like that.
shoreline, yes, probably
Yeah,
they're
you
so
haven't
probably
been
thinking of,
there.
they were probably thinking about Lake Braslav or Minsk and More.
And probably just not thinking about at all, not knowing geography. All right, but hey, what's if we're talking about normal person's life, working class, mid class, in general? What's the price? Is it how affordable is Belarus? Like normal daily life things, apartment, food, transportation, restaurants. How is it?
Well, the cost of living here is about a third to what it is back home, but you also have to remember that people earn less money than they do
What's the
back
mid
home.
and what's the mid salary also?
Okay, so the average
Approximate.
salary. Okay, so the average. It all depends on where you are, but in Minsk, like, the average
Minsk.
salary is about 700, $750 a month. That's what it is. But the thing about it is that a lot of people own their own apartments. You know, and also that the rents are very, very reasonable. They're about between 30-40% of your salary. Whereas in Ireland, your rent, if you're going to be renting on your own, it's going to be like between 70 to 80%
Oh,
of your salary.
wow.
So there's a marked up difference in terms of purchasing power parity. You know, and also you have, not only do you have the high rents, but you know, you have food, energy costs, and a lot of people back home are complaining they just can't live.
Yep,
You know,
yep.
they
That's
can't
what
live.
I heard also from some
Yeah.
people, because I made some interesting videos also from people traveling or expats, and that's typical. Last time I heard close to your home, I in Ireland, that was the Scotsman from in Moscow. He said the same thing about affordability, but otherwise, how affordable is life then? You mentioned apartments, but all the rest, like food and everything, do people get by? Is it
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You know, Belarus produces its own food, so you can just go to the market. You can buy food very, very cheaply. Also, you have vital foodstuffs like dairy products, milk, eggs, butter, meats that are subsidized by the state. So that's a good thing as well. You know,
hmm
and I was thinking of there last October, November, perhaps relocating to Argentina. But when I added up all the sums, I found that I would be worse off in Argentina than I would be here. Like Argentina is a worse state than Belarus. Belarus is Switzerland compared to Argentina, and it's Argentina is politically unstable. It has high inflation, and like something like over 50% of the population are on the poverty line, which is just a basket case,
Hmm.
and it's seen as part of like the Western culturally in the Western world, So here it's comfortable for me here.
There's a huge movement in the chat asking you to pronounce tomato.
We'd say tomato.
Tomato. All right. I don't know what's the point. I just said I don't know. Is it like an Irish thing or what they were expecting? But there you go, guys. Tomato. And yes, Grassy Knoll, Belarus has its own currency, Belarusian ruble, which is stronger than Russian ruble. Well,
Yeah,
a lot stronger.
yeah. It's the Belarusian ruble. It's running at a rate now of €1 to 3.5 Belarusian rubles. So that's what's the current rate is there at the moment.
Yep, and Russian ruble is like 100 plus currently to euro.
Yeah.
All right. So you mentioned that Minsk salaries are different, which is no surprise to me. In many ways, you say it's like it has its own beautiful culture, etc. But a lot of things apply to both countries, Russia, which I'm more familiar with, but you mentioned Minsk having different standards, life standards. How different is compared to the rest of Belarus?
Okay, well, obviously, when you move outside the city, there's a big fall off, big drop in cost of living. It goes by the old adage: location, location, location.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you go, say, to other provincial cities like Grodno, Gomel, Brest, Vitebsk, etc., the cost of living there's a big fall off, and of course, salaries would be lower as well. That's normal. That happens in every country. I mean, for example, salaries in Dublin are higher than, say, salaries in, say, Cork or Limerick or Waterford
It's
or
all around, I
Galway.
think. The same thing
Yeah, it's
around
all
the
around.
world. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing around the world. Yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah. But even if you go to rent an apartment, say in Gomel or in Brest, whatever, Vitebsk, whatever, you're going to be paying a lot less for rent, and it becomes more
And also
affordable.
salaries, right?
Yeah,
Lesser.
exactly. Yeah.
What's the
Exactly.
second city? Is it Brest?
Uh, I always thought of it as Gomel, because Gomel is the second city, so
Okay,
I'd go for Gomel pretty much. Yeah,
got it.
it'd be the second city.
So how does the situation right now, since Belarus is having the same sanctions as Russia, and how does that has affected? Are they visible for everyday people? Sure,
No,
probably. Like, all right, continue.
no. If there would be some small things, for example, like what's happened to my channel, I've been demonetized, my YouTube channel, and
Hmm.
cards like Revolut don't work here, unfortunately.
What's
So
that?
you have it's like a
Is
small like Revolut card. You know the Revolut.
no, no,
You never heard of Revolut? It's
nope.
like a online card payment system. That's
So
what it
it's
is.
Swift, probably, right?
Yeah, but we're still in Swift. We're still in Swift.
Are
So
you?
yeah, we are. Yeah,
That's a major information
yeah,
for me. But yeah,
yeah,
do continue. I'm
yeah.
like
So
shocked.
yeah. So we're still in Swift, and a number of cards, like Revolut online bank cards, they don't work here. Also, that Airbnb and Booking.com don't work here. So you're kind of you notice the small things, but in general, it doesn't affect a lot of people.
It's so a lot of things that you mention are from the foreigner's point of view, meaning that basically you have to just deep a little bit um,
Yeah,
dive deeper and just find out that there's probably replacements just like in Russia instead of booking.com. Do the Russian tutu.ru not that tutu, what is the Ostrovok, does that work there? I
yeah,
know it
the
does.
Mir cards. Yeah, they accept the Mir cards as well. Also, as well, if you're traveling to the West, to the European Union, there are no longer trains and no longer flights. So the
Yep.
best thing, the only way you can travel is by minibus or coach
Hmm.
to Riga, Vilnius, or indeed Warsaw.
Yep.
That's it. Okay.
And guys, everybody, this is for those who joining in. This is Irish expat. You are expat. You live there, right?
Yep.
Irish expat in Belarus. He's a YouTuber called Irish Partisan, and we have a deep discussion about life there, plus about travel updates concerning Belarus from the west to Belarus, and also, well, I can give you a clue, also from the east to Belarus. That's a new thing. So join in, push like if you want to highlight your comments or just support the channel. Use super chat, and thanks a lot. There's a lot of chat over there going on. Wonder a little question. I wonder if it's possible to get in Belarus easily for Russian language course.
Yeah, very,
Hold.
very easy. Very, very easy. Just go to Minsk State Linguistic University. There are other universities throughout Belarus, for example, in Branovici, Brest, Gomel, that offer Russian language courses, part-time and full-time. These universities, institutions will look after your paperwork. So there are no problems there.
Is because Belarus is even more, because there's not a lot of YouTubers going to Belarus or giving a deeper view into the country. There's some people just coming in and going out, the basic 1 day, 2 day. That's not enough. And you are one of the rare ones that does it in a full complete way. So people don't know about it, but is YouTube somehow you filming for YouTube? Because usually it means being a little bit nosy and going to places depending on your style. Is filming for YouTube or just filming somehow, is it easy or hard for you in Belarus? Because it's yeah.
To be honest, I've never had any problems filming here in Belarus. I've never been questioned by police or anything like that at all. The only problems I've had here come from overzealous babushki. That's the only problems. I say, "What are you doing? This is illegal here." And I said, "No, it's not illegal. This is a public place. I can film here." Blah blah blah. So just and she said, "I'll call the police in. Call the cops. I'm here. I'm waiting."
Yeah, you're a
And said, "Yeah,
resident.
resident, yeah." And they said, "That's fine. You can film. No problem." Never had a problem. I've been all around this country. I've been here, there, everywhere. I've been in forests, been in bogs, you name it. I've been all over the place. But nobody seems to have a problem. Even in Stolovia, in supermarkets where I filmed. So nobody said anything.
What
You
is
know.
your favorite thing or a location in entire Belarus to
Oh, it's
be
a good
at? Let's
question.
say let's make it easy first. What is the best location place? It can be a small or it can be like a bigger, like a whole entire city. You can name however you want it.
Well, in terms of nature, I would tell people to go to Belarus Pusha. This is the
What?
Belarus Pusha. This is
Something
the
with
to Belarus.
white. Something with
Yeah,
white in Bill.
yeah. Belarus Pusha. This is the natural forest reserve in western Belarus that they share with Poland. It's one of the last places in Europe that has natural European forest cover, and it's also the home of the European bison and other endangered species.
Wow.
So there are a lot of places, in Belarus you can go to. So that's the place. Other places like check out Gomel. I like Gomel. Gomel's a nice city, so it kind of resonates with me for some reason. Also, as well, Lake Braslav up in the northwest. Some beautiful places to visit. Belarus also has Niezvish Castle, Mira Castle, and also this country is full of beautiful churches, especially the Catholic churches in Western Belarus. These were the parts of Belarus that were, for a period of time, were part of Poland, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, and also the interwar Polish Republic. So there's a strong kind of Polish vibe in the
Hmm.
western part of the country, which is why you have this beautiful contrast between Soviet on one side and Belarusian / Polish, well, Ukrainian on the other. So you get a mix of both. And also
Hmm.
there is in some parts of Belarus, particularly in the west, there is also a small Muslim minority of Tatars, Lipka Tatars,
Hmm.
who actually have their own mosques. Their own. They've been here for 600 years more.
Yep.
Their own imams, priests, and yeah, I actually made a video about one of the mosques in a place called Novogrudok, which is in the Lida, near Lida in Grodno Oblast. So I want to go back and film a bit more of these places, to
You have
document
you have you have
Islam.
the same problem as me. You've been to for me. St. Petersburg is something that I'm especially very familiar with. So it's hard when somebody asks to name something one. Usually it continues on and on and on because after one thing you think about the other one, and it feels like a crime to name only one thing, one location. But what about is the one best thing about Belarus for you?
Um,
What do you love the most?
what I love the most about the country is just its beautiful scenery. It's a beautiful country. When in summertime, it's the best place, one of the best places in the world to be. If only Belarus had a coastline, it would be the best country in
Yep.
the world. But unfortunately, it doesn't. This is the way it is. But in summer, this place just comes alive in the summer. It's a beautiful country. It's green. You have all different kinds of colors, pink flowers, everything. You have fruit growing on the trees. It's the wheat fields, everything. And that's the best time to visit Belarus is, June and July. These are my favorite months in Belarus.
What a
Not now
shock.
because, yeah. So yeah, it's just an amazing,
No, no, I
beautiful
mean
country.
that's very
Yeah.
common. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I've
And
noticed
also,
that thing, yeah.
yeah, and also we have a lot of Russian tourists coming here as well. Because they know this is a beautiful country. It's cleaner, it's quiet, it's safer. And it kind of reminds them of their childhood as well. At the same time, so that's the another appeal to it. Yeah.
Guys, we're gonna continue on with the Irish Partisan. Remember to push like. Let's get this channel. Let's get this more views for the live stream right here. We got a Minsk connection live. And what is there for you in the future? What's your plans for the next years?
Uh, well, it's kind of difficult
I,
to say what's going
I
to
don't know
happen, but
if it's
yeah.
Belarus or something else. That's like open question.
Yeah. Well, the plan is, I need to go back to Ireland sometime in the summer. Need to sort out some things and remonetize my channel again. That's the important thing. After that, then, I vlog a bit more. This channel is for me. It's a pastime. It's a hobby.
Hmm.
And also I do plan on eventually doing Yugoslavia. The ex-Yugoslav countries, the six republics. That's something that I've been talking about for the last couple of years. That's something that I want to do, you know. And if, for example, if I choose to go full time on the channel, which I've been thinking about, if, for example, I'm no longer living and working here, it's something that I could knuckle down and do for a year or two, go
Hmm.
full time on the channel. But it's all up in the air. Like these are like distant plans. We don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. So
Are
take
you
it as
gonna
it comes.
move? Is there a chance for you to fully move? Because right now you have a residence permit, but going is there need of course there's not possibly there's not even a need for like citizenship or full-time moving, but is it an option for you to like move fully? Or yeah, I guess you have an apartment maybe back in Ireland, so me cutting all bridges and like fully live, make it home. uh,
Yeah, it is, but a lot of people say that you can, it's good to change scenery every now and again, to move from different place to places and have a bit of variation in your life. We'll just see what happens, but I don't plan on jettisoning the channel anytime soon. Just keep having it and see how it
mhm.
goes, see how it happens. God forbid if anything happens to my work in the morning, whatever, I always have this channel to fall back on, and to go full time on it if I wanted to. But it's right now it's more or less it's like a hobby. It's a pastime.
So we're gonna talk about next something that's I'm personally very interested in and been wanting to do this for many years, meaning traveling to exploring Belarus. That's why I found everything you say very intriguing, interesting, and we're gonna be talking about the visa-free update plus the update on Russian slash Belarusian visa traveling, but. First, well, let's put it like this. First of all, the Belarus continued its visa-free uh, free visas until the end of this year, which is
Mhm.
awesome because before that, the situation was that was the problem for me. The visa-free situation concerned only basically flying into Minsk, which right now it means going through only rare third countries.
Yeah.
Through Istanbul, maybe Serbia from somewhere else. That's a lot of money. Only and before that, the only possibility was to enter to the Brest-Litovsk area. I think it's Brest-Litovsk in the west, and it's very very strict how you can do it. It was really pain in the ass, and now it's finally done so that it's starting from last summer. I think you can enter visa free. No, however you want into the country for how many days? Is it 30 or
Okay,
what?
it's for 30 days, 90 days in a year.
Yes. So basic visa thing basically. And
Yeah,
that's an
exactly.
awesome thing, guys. You can travel from well, you answer how can people travel into without talking about the travel update with Russia uh from Europe, how can you or from the West, how can you
Okay.
enter Belarus and what do you suggest people to
Okay,
do?
so this is for European citizens only. Okay, this is for
Mhm.
European citizens only. What you should do, therefore, is that just get a flight to Vilnius and get the bus from Vilnius to Minsk. That's it. Simple.
Is it the best border best
Yeah.
entryway?
Yes, it is from via Lithuania. There's also another border that goes via Lida in western Belarus as well, which some say it's quicker. But I would definitely I would use if I was coming to Belarus from these 30, 35 European countries that have the visa free regime with Belarus.
So it's
Just come
only
in
for
by Lithuania.
Europeans. So it's only for
Only for
Europeans.
Europeans. Only for Europeans. If you're an American, I think you need a visa. Unfortunately,
Okay.
that's just the way it is. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So and Mr. Yamox asks what is the best route for Finland? Well, it's the same thing. You fly into according to Irish partisan, you fly into Lithuania and Vilnius and continue from there. Correct?
Correct. Yeah. So fly to Vilnius and just take the bus straight through.
And I gotta acknowledge there's a Black Cat Arm, longtime moderator, the captain of the Igor community is here. He's a fan of you as well, Neil. Is it Niall or Neil?
It doesn't matter. People here call me Neil.
Neil, Black Cat is he's now that he's here, I can acknowledge it. That's so great to have him here. And yeah, Black Cat and everybody else join the chat and you can ask questions. I will take them as I see them. All right, guys, we're talking about traveling to Belarus, which is now has for European Union citizens a free visa. And what else is when entering? You need do you need like a hotel reservation or something in order to, with this free visa? Do I need to have some kind of a proof that I'm staying somewhere? Because usually that involves entering a
No,
country.
no, no,
No?
no. You don't. You don't. No.
You sure?
I'm nearly sure of that. Yeah.
So I can just say that I'm traveling, then the way you're staying somewhere in Minsk or
Yeah. Somewhere in
maybe
Minsk, whatever. Yeah. Oh, the only thing you need is insurance. That's all you need.
insurance.
Insurance.
Okay.
From
That
Belgostok. Yeah.
does it have to be like a separate paper? Because I have, for example, all right. So got it. So print,
Yeah.
guys. It does it have to be in English or what is it translated?
It's the insurance. You can usually purchase it at the border,
Okay.
and
If
it's
you
just,
don't
just a
have
small
it.
fee. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there
Correct.
anything special with this with entering Belarus from this point of view? You just have
No,
a
there.
ticket in and that's it?
ticket in and more or less, and that's it. Yeah. Now I haven't actually done that before because I haven't entered Belarus as just as
Yep.
an ordinary tourist, so I'm not 100% certain on it. But it's a good idea just to have a hotel reservation there, just in case you're asked.
So the best thing, greatest thing is also Grassy Knoll asks about Visa Mastercard. So yes,
Yeah,
Visa
they work.
Mastercard.
Yeah,
That's
they work.
amazing, guys. That's a game changer. Like seriously, for many, I'm sure.
They
Wow.
work. Yeah. Hmm.
And you can see my genuine smile because I'm already traveling. I love exploring new stuff, especially the countries that mean to me a lot. Um, all right. Other question: how safe Belarus is for travelers?
Super safe. It is super safe. There, you won't have any problems dealing with petty criminals, drug addicts, like you do in a lot of Western countries and so on. So it's
Yep.
super safe here.
So the same thing that you saw in Russia, guys, with tons of videos, live streams, basically the same applies to Belarus, maybe even more with safety, I mean. Um, what do you recommend for a first-time traveler? What would you recommend? Basic, like top five. Note these things when entering Belarus. What would you say off top of your head?
Okay, just
Not location-wise, just like general travelers things.
just go there with an open mind, and you'll enjoy the country. Simple as that. That's all
What
I'll
about
say.
physically, meaning like have some cash in your
Yes.
pockets,
Yeah,
then that
absolutely.
type of
Yeah.
things?
So if you're bringing cash, have cards, obviously cards, and have some cash as well. It's good to mix things up. So, just in case your card isn't accepted at the bank.
Hmm.
So bring cash, bring cards. Just in case. That's what I say. So just have like say 3/4 cash, quarter in the cards, and you can't go
Got
wrong.
it. Is
Yeah.
there any, Mr. Yamox asks, by the way, now that I remember, Black Cat has actually Belarusian roots in his family, by the way. Mr.
Very good.
Yamox asks, how many euros can you bring in? Is it like similar like to Russia? It's 10,000
Ten
before you have
thousand.
to
Yeah.
declare. It's the
It's
same?
10,000. It's $10,000. Yeah, before you have to declare. Correct. Yeah.
All right, that's super awesome, man. It's very very it's even more doable now, guys. You can enter. You can also enter from Poland as well, but I think it's a bit trickier, longer
It's
maybe.
trickier. It's trickier and it's longer. My advice is to come via Lithuania, and when you're coming into Lithuania, spend a couple of days, 2-3 days in Vilnius. Vilnius is also an awesome city.
All right.
Spend time
I
in
never
Vilnius.
been. I was originally born in Riga, so I'm very familiar with Riga. Not because I was born there, because I traveled there a lot through from 2014 onwards, until I then realized that everything that I liked about Riga is more, in a way, the Russianness of it. And then when I saw like St. Petersburg, I kind of realized how small it is, but it's still a cool city. But yeah, definitely want to see Vilnius. I don't know about 3 days though.
Mhm.
All right, I would be too eager to eager, no pun intended. I would be too eager, Igor. I'm too eager to go into Belarus. What about what things you must see during the, let's say, few days that you're in there, or up to a week? What top are they? Probably the things you mentioned earlier, right? Your
Yeah,
favorite things.
Belarusia Pusha. Also, good check out, Minsk. A lot of attractions around Minsk, Park Pobedi. You go to the Great Patriotic War Museum, plenty of museums. Go to Gomel, check out Brest, Grodno, Vitebsk. Some beautiful cities and towns here.
Black Cat asks about, have you been to Pinsk?
Yes, I have been to Pinsk. I liked Pinsk. I was there back in 2020. I made a video from Pinsk. Really enjoyed it. Beautiful
Or
place.
very important question for the channel as well, by the way. How much does glass of wine cost, beer and whiskey
All
separately?
depends. All depends on where you get it. It can vary. 2 rubles, something like that. To if you go to a bar, you'd be paying a lot more.
What about a restaurant? The mediocre.
Medium restaurants. I mean, you're paying what would you be paying? 20 or 30 rubles, for a meal, in around there. If you're going for the upper end, I'll be paying 2-3 times that. So yeah.
How much is that in euros, dollars?
You'd be paying if you're going for a meal for two, in an ordinary meal, an average place, you'd be paying about meal for two about what would you be paying? About 20 euros, 25 euros. So it's cheap.
All right, got it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, we covered that. Very interesting stuff, guys. You gotta visit. I am going, and hopefully I'm gonna see you there. But before we end up this live stream, we gotta talk also about the new hot uh, topic for me, which means there's a new update starting off, and I heard it first from your channel, by the way, right? And I was super, like, I was overjoyed. Um, Now, if you have a Russian visa, that's the new update, travel update. If you have a Russian visa, you are able to enter Russia, Belarus via Russia with your same Russian visa. And if you
Correct.
do have a visa to Belarus, not including this free visa, you are able to enter Russia. And by the way, also leave through those countries. Meaning, if I enter Belarus from Russia, I'm able to leave, for example, to Vilnius in case I want to go back to, if I need to go back to the capital of what was the word I use? Anyway, to Helsinki or elsewhere. So that's the new update, right?
Correct. That's what they mean by mutual recognition of visas. Yeah, both visas. This also includes temporary residency, permanent residency as well. Both recognized.
Guys, if you don't know, that was a major issue because if you don't understand how big it is, you are able to travel now. Actually, if people coming from a longer way, let's say Americans traveling to Belarus, they have this visa. They don't use that free visa, which is not applicable to this. They have the visa. They're able to enjoy Belarus, and they were like, I will go to St. Petersburg or even Moscow. You can do that, and you can enter, you can exit wherever you wanted to Estonia or wherever you want to. That's major news, guys. And I've already checked Irish. It's cost like $50, $70 to travel overnight from St. Petersburg to Minsk. That's amazing. Overnight. It leaves at 6, arrives early in the morning. That's freaking awesome, guys.
Yeah, and the thing is, I want to go back to. I haven't been to Russia since 2019, so it'd be nice just to go back and to see the country again. Because I've been to Moscow, I've been to, as I said, Kaliningrad, and I've also been to Yekaterinburg. So I've been to 3 places, the capital and 2 provincial cities.
Edible says that's my kind of a train trip. Yes, indeed. I like train trips overnight because I'm crazy when I'm filming. I mean, I do a lot of work, meaning the night is a great time to travel, not sleep. And well, guys, comment down below in the chat how awesome would it be to see Irish Partisan in St. Petersburg. And we might do together something. If you arrive, I would be in St. Petersburg, giving you the greatest tips, just like you did for us with Belarus. I would be giving advice with St. Petersburg, if in case you need it. That would be awesome. A lots of saying Soviets, not only imperial stuff in St. Petersburg. There's a tons of Soviet things that you enjoy, especially if I correctly understood. And if I arrive to Minsk, are you down for some filming?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always down for filming. I meet people the whole time. Last year, was the year before last year, I think it was, I met Dave Legenda. He was here filming, and as I mentioned earlier, I featured with Mr. Bald and Harold Balder as well. So yeah, I've collaborated with a number of different YouTubers. So.
And Black Cat, thanks so much for your super chat, and he comments. You missed the early talk, buddy, where we talked actually about toll travels. Black Cat says Irish. That I call you Irish. I don't know if it's okay. I don't know
Right,
why. I just use your
right.
your surname is partisan. Anyway, he says Black Cat says we need tolls here with the both of you, and not here. I'm gonna take it further. We need toll to travel also to Minsk, and we could do this a newborn super group, and we'll do some epic stuff together.
There you go. Why not?
I haven't talked about toll about this thing. We talked about other stuff, and definitely, why not? This is so easy now. Especially, man, I'm getting these crazy ideas. I could travel overnight by train to Minsk to meet you, and we do some stuff over there.
Yeah, I just hop on a train. That's it. Straight through to Minsk, overnight train. You arrive in the morning.
Do you have any? I have, if you can continue. We have like 1 hour of filming right now. If you do a little, like 5 minutes more, maybe a little.
Yeah,
Do you
because
have?
I need to head to bed. It's getting late here. So
Gotcha. There's 1 hour. You're 1 hour ahead of time. Let's do 5 minutes more, guys. So last possibility to ask questions from the one and only Irish partisan, straight from Minsk live. Um, the question was: is there, for me as a foreigner coming from with a Russian visa, is there anything that I need to expect? For example, maybe questioning, or do you know? By the way, how does it work when you? I'm not worried about it. It's a normal thing, but I'm just thinking: is that something to be expect of it? And when you travel overnight, do you have experience about the Russian trains or Belarusian internal
just
trains? Do they
just the
stop
internal
and you
trains.
or what?
Yeah, just the internal trains. That's all.
Is this exactly? But do they stop and you have to go to the border, or does it everything happens in the
The thing,
cabins?
okay, the thing about it is that okay, say if you're traveling on a Russian visa into Belarus or vice versa, they always check your tickets and your passports just before you get on the train.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, if there's any problems, you won't be allowed. Simple as that.
But in some, well, I hope they're aware of this new law or this new thing, because it would be a bummer if they'd be like, no, I cannot let you in, and they're not informed about the new. Well, I guess they are.
Yeah, they are. Like, for example, a funny story happened to me. I mentioned it earlier in the interview here when back in 2019, Russia introduced the e-visa for
Yep.
Kaliningrad, and I printed it out. The Russian embassy said, "Yeah, that's fine, that's sorted." So then went to Minsk airport, and I noticed that hey, there are no customs or border control, from
Yep.
Minsk.
That's
But when
a red sign.
yeah, yeah. But when I arrived in Kaliningrad, I was stopped, and the woman she looked at my passport and the visa, and she was like completely confused. She didn't know what to do, and she called the guy over, a younger one of the younger Russian border police, and he looked at her and I said, "Yeah, he's okay. He can come on in." And I said, "Okay, thanks." So yeah, and yeah, that's the only problem I had. So yeah, that was no big deal.
That's not the worst things I've heard
Yeah.
from these type of stories. I want to say big shout out to Irish Partisan. Thank you so much for doing this. Like personally, not just as an interview. Am I as an interviewer? I'm like personally as a guy who watches your video. It's very interesting to hear finally some of the details and about your life and about your opinions about insight about traveling to Belarus. Guys, we're definitely going to continue, hopefully in physically. Guys, go check out Irish Partisan. That's his name and tag in the top video name, and also in the description. You can also, if you're watching this later, join the commentary. You can answer leave some questions, because I'm gonna remind Irish to check them out and comments if there are good questions. Any uh, any last words before you head to
No,
bed?
no last words. Only to say, come to Belarus, check out this country. You'll love it. Come in summer. Come say June, July, August. Best time to come. You can thank me. You won't be disappointed.
Guys, push like to the video. Thank you so much, everybody in the
Thank you.
chat. Thank everybody, members, subscribers, Black Cat, Edelwolf, the moderators, everybody involved. Have a good night. Spokojne noći. You never said spokojne noći in your videos.
No, I never do. I just say do svidania, do popoćenja, slanga phone.
And we leave it at that. See you, my friend. Bye-bye.
See, take care, guys. Bye-bye.